here's the big question. You're interested in value investing and valuing and evaluating businesses on a deep level, but you don't know how, even after researching for hours, probably dozens of hours, hundreds of hours on the internet, and because nobody else shows you how to do it. This podcast has all those answers and much more about value investing in finance. My name is Jason Rivera. Welcome to Value Investing in Your Car. Hey, Jason here. In today's episode of Value Investing in Your Car, I want to talk about, I'm going to do a book review of a book that I've now it's May 2nd as I'm recording this, 2019. Since, I don't remember the first time I read it, but I think it was January or February 2019. So just in the last 4 months, I've listened to this book 5 times. That's how fantastic it is. So I'm going to do a book review of that. Before we get to what the book is that I've listened to 5 times in less than 4 months, I need to remind you this series is now available as a podcast anywhere in the world for free. iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Podbean, whatever your podcasting platform is, Podcast Go, whatever you listen to for podcasts, you can get this series as a podcast for free anywhere in the world now. So, the book Relentless by Tim S. Grover. Book I've listened to 5 times now in less than 4 months. Actually, in just over 3 months. Listened to it 5 times on Audible audiobooks. Fantastic book. One of the best books I've ever read or listened to. If you can't tell, because I've listened to it 5 times in less than 4 months. It's essentially about Tim S. Grover. If you don't know who he is, he trained Michael Jordan when he was playing still. He trained Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Charles Barkley, some of the great basketball players, and I think he's branched off now to baseball for sure, and then maybe football as well. But definitely some of the best basketball players of all time he's trained. So he's been around greatness for the last 25, 30 years, whatever the case has been. So he's witnessed, again, Michael Jordan, probably the best basketball player ever. Certainly the most competitive by many accounts. Personal trainer, personal access to these guys, again, some of the all-time greats. So he knows what makes people go from good to great, and then what he calls going from great to unstoppable. And he calls them cleaners. He calls, closers. What's the first category? There's 3 categories. Cleaner is the highest one. That's Michael Jordans of the world. Closers, and then coolers. Coolers are the people at the end of the bench. If you watch a basketball game, just cheering and going crazy, and they never really play. He spends, it's a 6.5, 7 hour audiobook. I don't know what that translates into pages, 250, 300 pages probably. But in the book, he talks about, and the reason it resonates so much with me is because I'm an incredibly ambitious person. I'm an incredibly competitive person. I push myself constantly to always get better. I'm never really satisfied. I'm always trying, even getting huge deals as soon as I'm done. My team is like, okay, let's celebrate. For example, this happened last week. Let's celebrate. And I was like, who has time to celebrate? I'm trying to get these deals ready for next week. And I was being kind of sarcastic in a joking way, but I'm being serious too, because I was already, yeah, that's great, but on to the next thing. There's always something bigger, better to do instead of celebrating. I've never been a big party person, so this book really can't really go in. I don't want to go into too much detail because the book, again, is so fantastic, but it essentially, the reason it resonates so much with me is because it explains a lot of why, not necessarily why I felt off a lot of my life, but why I felt different. Again, not special, it's just different. Is even when I was a kid, if my friends were doing something I didn't want to do, I didn't do it because I wanted to do something else. And I've always been I don't know really how to explain it, but a little bit different when it comes to situations that most people, again, peer pressure is a perfect example. Peer pressure's never worked on me. Even when I was in high school, it didn't work on me. If somebody was doing something stupid and they're like, here, do the typical guy thing, try this, why aren't you trying this, blah, 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 why aren't you doing this, blah, 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 all that kind of crap. Okay, I don't care. I'll do whatever. I don't know really how to explain it, but this book perfectly explains a lot of my mindsets, why I work so hard, what I'm working towards, how to get better, reaching towards greatness, and admiring people like Tom Brady and Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods and LeBron James and the greatest basketball players and business people ever, Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, striving sorry, one of the teachers came up to my car and was talking to the parent next to me. I thought they were going to start talking to me. But striving to become great, working towards greatness, admiring greatness, learning from greatness. Again, I think the reason I like it so much is because it explains a lot about my mindset that I didn't even understand before this book. And how it's okay to go after your dreams. It's okay to make sacrifices in terms of going to parties, and because I've never been a big partier. Working to constantly get better, working to always improve, not necessarily being content. And you can ask my wife. We've been together 16 years this coming June, since I was 16 years old and she was 17 in high school. I don't get excited about hardly anything. I just always am kind of, okay, that's awesome, and we'll kind of go from there and make it work or whatever it is, and we'll have fun, and I always have fun. I'm a very outgoing person, but again, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily content or excited or happy about a lot of stuff. I am always, again, thinking about what I can do next, what I can do better, what I should have done better, how I can help somebody more, whatever the case may be. When I wrote my book, when I finished my book, it took me 10 months, I think, to finish my book, How to Value Invest. I immediately published it. I think took a day or two off and then started working on whatever else I was working on at the time. I'm the same with all these projects I'm working on right now. Is finish something, okay, what's next on one of the other projects? What's next on this project? What can we do better? And it just, again, I think that's the reason I like it so much, is because it talks a lot about, again, explain to me stuff that I didn't even understand about myself. About this kind of stuff in my mindset, that again, kind of having a different mindset than a lot of people my age, and always not feeling like an outcast, but just, again, feeling a little bit different when it comes to my priorities. That probably is the best way to say it. Highly recommend it. Again, I work towards greatness every day. I work to become better every single day. If that is you, you will love this book. It's not for everybody. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's stuff in it. If you don't have this kind of mindset, you probably will either completely disagree with, or possibly be not necessarily offended by, but be like, ew, who wants to live like that? Type of thing. Like Nick Saban, Bill Belichick's a perfect example. Those two are probably the greatest college football coach, greatest NFL coach of all time. Combined, they have 11 championships, I think, 12 championships, something like that. You see them smile a little bit after the games, after they win championships or playoff games or big games or whatever, then it's immediately on to the next opponent. How can we get better? If that's you, you will love this book. Again, if it's not you, you probably won't like this book at all. But the reason, again, I've listened to it 5 times now in less than 4 months. Highly recommend it. One of my favorite books pretty much of all time. Again, for the content is great, reaching towards greatness is great, learning from greatness is great. That's the reason I got the book. The side effect, and again, I think this is why I like it so much, is because it explains stuff I didn't even understand about myself. So if you have a similar mindset to me, or you just want to learn about and admire greatness and learn some of the mental techniques of people like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, you'll love this book. If you're a sports fan, you'll probably love this book. If you want to reach toward greatness, you'll probably love this book. If you don't have this kind of mindset, again, you probably won't like this book at all. So if you've read this book, listen to it, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts of it are. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this. Because again, you'll probably either love this book or you're just absolutely hate it. So love to hear your thoughts on this book. Remember, this podcast, or this series, is now available as a podcast for free on all major podcasting platforms. And make sure, if you're watching on YouTube and and a podcasting platform, like, love, share, subscribe, download. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you're notified anytime I release a new video. Thanks for watching. Highly recommend this book again for pretty much everybody. If you have this kind of mindset that I talked about, you like sports, you reach towards greatness, you love learning, all these kind of things, highly recommend it. Again, I can't say much more. I've listened to it 5 times in less than 4 months. So, I'll talk to you next time. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.